Yo boys, it's a little bit of a different video than usual, but my name is Brayden if you don't already know me. I'm 18 years old. I pretty much gave up on high school about 3 years ago to go all in on my online business, and I'm pretty much been going in depth in this video of how I went from being a broke high school student making $4,000 a month, working as a server every single week of my life for multiple years, making less than 4,000 a month, to now being 18 years old, being self-employed, unemployed, some of you might call it, working for myself as an entrepreneur, making upwards of $50,000 every single month profit. So my journey started not too long ago, to be honest. I started reselling in April of 2024, and like most people, my reselling business started because I literally just wanted to learn how some of my friends were making money. I saw one of my friends, and specifically, his name is Austin. This dude was driving a fucking white BMW. He bought a white BMW, and I was like, holy shit, this dude is rich. Like, I want to learn what he did. I want to learn how he did it. So naturally, I started buying used shoes. That's how I started. And what a lot of people do wrong when they first start reselling is they pay really high on shit because they don't understand market and they don't really understand what's going on yet. And like, that's kind of what I did, to be completely honest with you guys. Like, I don't know if a lot of you guys resell if you're watching this video or not, but for example, a shoe that I should have been paying $300 on, I was paying $700 on. So within my first week and a half, I quite literally ended up losing over $2,000 straight out the gate. I wasn't tracking anything. I didn't have anything going on. Hey, cut it out, little baby. This is Stella, guys. This is my puppy right here. She's a baby. But besides the point, I ended up losing like $2,000 within my first like 2 weeks. And for whatever reason, I kept on going. For just no reason in any way, shape, or form, I kept on going. I kept grinding, and I should have stopped, but thank God I fucking didn't. So I lost all that money, and pretty much from April until September, I really had no idea what I was doing, to be completely honest with you guys. I was flipping used shoes. I was driving around every single day. I was driving my beat up $4,000 car, and I was working 50 hours every single week in my serving jobs. I would quite literally wake up at like 6:30, go to my first job at 7:30, work there until like 2 or 3 p.m., make maybe $100 if I was lucky, maybe $200 if it was a really busy day, and then I would get off at like 2 or 3 p.m., my shift would be over, and then I would go to my next job, and I would clock in there, and I would work there for like, I don't even know, like 4-ish hours. And like, all in all, I was pretty much just working every single day of the week with maybe like an off day or two, while still balancing online school, still being in high school as a 17-year-old. Well, I just turned 17 in May at the time. I'm now 18, but at the time I was 17 doing all of this, and I was still kind of trying to figure it out with reselling. I wasn't really making that much money. And moral of the story, for that like 5 to 6 month span, I really didn't make any money. I really had no idea what I was doing. I was maybe making like $1,000 a month reselling. So all in all, across that 5 to 6 month span, including losses, probably made like 2 to 3,000 profit. So really no fucking money at the end of the day. But everything changed in September of 2020 or 2024. I joined a mentorship. I joined a program, and the program was good. Like, I'm not going to say the program was bad by any means necessary, but it was enough that I needed to spark my brain and light a fire in my mind to be like, okay, like, holy shit, like, this is possible. Like, I might actually be able to make some money off of that. So I joined this program, really had no idea what I was doing at the end of the day. I didn't even know this program was going to be about like sneaker wholesaling at all, but it was about sneaker wholesaling. So I pretty much joined this program, paid this dude a few $1,000s, whatever, to learn what he did. He was pretty much told me, it's like, yo, I make $50,000 a month as a 21-year-old college student. Let me teach you how to do it. So I invested in this dude, which was probably my best decision I've ever made in my entire life. Not because the program was like crazy good, but because it lit a fire in my mind. It sparked something in my mind where I was like, okay, cool, like, holy fucking shit, like, this shit might actually be genuinely possible. So I joined this program, and everything changed after that. Everything fucking changed after that. I'm not gonna go too crazy in depth, but pretty much my first month in September, I made $2,000 profit reselling. My best month sneaker reselling ever, which it was in this first month of this program. And like, literally what I would do is I would work all day. I would wait until I get off work to come home. And then when I come home, I would probably like fucking 8, 9 p.m., whatever, I would eat some dinner, and I would just sit on my phone and I would just outreach all day. I would try to build as many relationships and connections as humanly possible. And I just spent all day in my DMs trying to build relationships with people, trying to build connections with people, and just trying to fucking close deals and make some money at the end of the day. September made 2K. October rolls around. I double. I make 4,000 profit in October of 2024. And at this point in time, I was making as much as my job. So like I was low-key on top of the world. I was like, holy shit, just made $4,000. Like this is how much I usually make on average working my 9 to 5. So I did that. I was really, really on top of the world. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm a full-time reseller now. So this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. And what happened next shouldn't have happened. It was a really fucked turn of events. It was good, but it was also bad, and I'm gonna explain why. So we went from 2K to 4K, and in November of 2024, guys, I made $20,000. I went all the way up here from 4K to 20K, and the reason why I say that it wasn't supposed to happen was because I had a loop in place. Pretty much, I was buying pairs for $50 and selling them for $150, and I was making 200% ROI. And I did this over like 150 times. So just alone off of that, I made $15,000 profit in less than 30 days. Overall, with everything I was working on, I made $20,000 profit that month. And that was one of my craziest months of reselling ever, just because I had such a crazy loop in place. And like finding a loop like that is pretty much impossible nowadays. Like that's a once in a blue moon type of opportunity, and like those opportunities really don't come around that often. So I did that, made 20K, but the issue was there was no consistency, there was no repeatability, and I really had no idea what I was doing at the end of the day. So in November, we went from 20K all the way down to 4K in December. What was supposed to be my best month of the year, and I was supposed to make the most money, I only made $4,000 profit in December, and I was very bummed out. I was very upset because, like I said, there was just no repeatability. There was no consistency. And I really didn't know what I was doing at the end of the day. So that happened. We ended up only making $4,000. January rolls around, and January was my first 10K month. It was really good. I started posting on Instagram Reels every single day. I started documenting my journey. I was doing the challenge day one until I make 10K a month starting January 1st. And I did that for like 20 days. I gave up eventually because people were copying me because I actually started to build a name for myself. Completely different story, but moral of the story is I ended up making 10K profit in January. I think it was like 9,900 to be completely exact, but we're gonna count it as 10K. So January 28th, I actually moved into what warehouse I still use now, 1,200 square feet. I signed a lease that I would pay $1,650 every single month for an entire year. So I moved into, hey, cut it out. I moved into this warehouse January 28th. And it was cool, but it was also one of the biggest risks that I ever took because I had just hit my first 10K month, but at the same time, I really wasn't making that much money off my reselling business, 10K a month, but I just signed a lease that would lock me into a $20,000 deal across this whole entire next year. So I was all in. I was fucking all in. I was ready to win. I was fucking on fire. And January 31st rolls around, and on February 1st, the next day, I had to be at my job at 7:30. So I had no employees, I had no systems in place. I was just getting moved into the warehouse, and I was up that night until working until 4 a.m., organizing stuff and getting some work done. And I really fucked up because I was so tired. I went home and I just fucking passed out. I just went to bed. I was all the way asleep, and I actually ended up sleeping through my alarm. So I slept through my alarm, and I woke up to a phone call about 8:30, after an hour after I was supposed to be at my job. And what I thought at the time, because I was so tired and I was so asleep, I thought it was my girlfriend. I was like, oh shit, my girlfriend's calling me. She's telling me to wake up. I don't want to wake up. She can fuck off. So I pick up the phone, thought it was my girlfriend. I pretty much told her to fuck off and that I was going back to bed. But I wake up like 3 hours later and I was like, oh shit, that was my manager. So I told my manager to fuck off. That was my last day working. And the rest is history, guys. February we doubled. We did 20K profit. March we did 30, April we did 32, and then in May, my best month ever reselling, we did $51,000 profit. We had a really good loop in place where I was pretty much buying Jordan 4s for $230 and I was selling them for $260. Did that pretty much 1,000 times over. But at the end of the day, not a super long video. I just kind of wanted you guys to learn more about me, my business, my journey, and how I kind of came up. Obviously, I didn't go super in depth. If you guys want to know more about my story, feel free to message me individually on my Instagram or apply to me, work with me one-on-one, and I can go more in depth of how exactly I was able to do what I was able to do at such a young age. But now, I pretty much do whatever I want. I mean, guys, this is my apartment. It's my desk over here. It's my kitchen table right here. My dog is running around the apartment like an absolute menace. But at the end of the day, I have nothing to sell you. I have no BS to tell you. But what I do want to tell you is that I'm living proof that it's possible. If I can do it, you can probably fucking do it too, because everybody in this entire world is no different from one other person. I don't have any unique, crazy traits that makes me different from you. I just put in the work day in and day out, and I wanted it more than the next guy. So if you like this type of content, you like this video, please like and subscribe. It helps me so unbelievably much because I don't have a big platform at the end of the day. And I want to see everybody watching this video win. I do appreciate your time if you watched all the way through. Thank you guys. Have a good one.